Hey there, I'm Chris with PearsonCopy.com, and I'm here to help your brands make more sales with email. As a part of my 100 emails in 100 days breakdown challenge, I am breaking down an email today from the brand Outer. I've broken down a few emails of theirs over the last months. This one I found in my inbox after being on their list for a while, and this is I believe this is a part of their welcome series. And the reason I pulled this email out to break it down is their unique mechanism to, or their solution to a problem that a lot of online shoppers have with furniture is that they don't get to sit and feel and experience the actual furniture before they buy. A lot of brands force you to purchase the furniture, have it shipped to your house. You have 30 days to try it out, give it a try, and then if you don't like it, you have to break it back down, put it back in the boxes, and send it back. So, a solution that Outer came up with is the reason why the solution and the mechanism behind that solution is the reason why I wanted to break this down. Because if you can find unique angles or unique ways to solve common problems, it will set your brand apart. I think that Outer needs to spend way more time marketing this to their audience. They need to spend way more time showing this to people because one of the big objections, one of the big concerns, like I mentioned, is that I don't get to try the furniture before I buy it. So if they can show their potential customers that, hey, we let you try this furniture, and here's how, you don't have to come into a store, you don't have to drive across town to and be try to and go into a store and get pitched by a salesperson to buy something you're not ready to buy yet. Instead, you can essentially do what they share in this email and use that to separate themselves and differentiate themselves from every other furniture brand or furniture warehouse or store that I've been a part of, that I've seen. It's just a really unique way, a new, different way to actually sell furniture. So yeah, with that being said, that's a little bit longer of an opener than usual, but with that context, let's go ahead and break this email down. So their subject line, with all that context, the revolution has begun. So there's a hint at curiosity here. There's a hint at change for the positive, and I'd imagine they've been testing this, but I would potentially test against this subject line. I'd imagine they've been testing, and this one probably has been performing the best when it comes to open rates. But I would test against this subject line based on the information that's already in this email, a little further down than what you can see so far. But yeah, I think this is a great start. The revolution has begun. So one, they're saying that there's a change coming. At this point in the welcome series, the customers should understand that Outer is a furniture brand. That's why they signed up to get an incentive to because they're shopping for furniture. They're joining the list. It's a furniture brand. They should know. They should have context or have remembered context over the last a week or two of getting these emails of who Outer and the brand is. Also, earlier in their welcome series, they have a handful of plain text emails, a handful of design focused, a handful of hybrid emails. So Outer is trying all different kinds of ways to get the customer or potential customer's attention, get them engaged, and then get them into a purchase. So yeah, the revolution has begun. I test against it, but and I'll share why here in a second. But I think it's a good start. And if they're already testing, I bet this is probably their top performer, if not in the top three. So moving down this email, with this email, the revolution has begun. They've got their brand logo, they've got a menu here at the top, and they've got this tagline, a showroom in your neighbor's backyard. So once you read the rest of the email, this tagline actually makes sense. The revolution has begun, a showroom in your new neighbor's backyard. So when I first read this, I was kind of confused. I was like, why would there be a showroom in my new neighbor's backyard? So there's a little curiosity, right? But I would I think it's too far off from the actual concept, and people aren't really this concept of going to a neighbor's house to look at furniture to see if I want to buy it. Um, I think it's new enough to where people are going to be like, oh, that doesn't like it doesn't register them for what that actually means. So the idea here, I think you can go even simpler, and say, hey, shop furniture in your neighbor's backyard. Like you could go simpler and not be as clever as like a showroom, because people this concept of going to a neighbor's house or somebody else's house in an area to shop furniture, it's just so new that it doesn't register. It's almost like when Uber came out and said, hey, um, for like millennials and the generation older, generation younger, or generation older and everybody older is like, don't get in strangers with cars. But now Uber comes along and says, hey, strangers are the people you should trust, get in those cars and you can share rides with them. So it's just it's such a contrast or a new concept or just new enough to where it's like it doesn't click because I haven't seen this before. So I would potentially test that copy here if you leave this design and tagline or header and just say, hey, shop new furniture in your neighbor's backyard to find what you want. Something just to the point, level 1, 2 awareness when it comes to like the buying stages, and just go straight to the point, because this concept and offer nobody else is offering that I've seen so far in the furniture industry. From what I've done shopping wise, what I've done research wise, this is something that's definitely new enough or newer that people aren't going to connect to it initially when you say something clever like a showroom in your new neighbor's backyard. So yeah, I would test that. The other thing too is I would, with this specific email, Outer does send plain text. They do send design focus. They do send hybrid emails in their welcome series, all across the board, right? This email specifically, I would make plain text only, and I would test that because primarily you're expanding a new concept. Design images like this may help explain that concept, but until you have a baseline or a foundation of what that concept actually is, the images aren't really going to make sense. As you say, two people putting a cover on a couch or cover on a pillow here, it doesn't. Your brain's still like it's new enough and it's a little bit confused. It's like, hey, I'm not really sure what this is yet. So giving them context they can't use, like design or images, may be too much, and this email may be underperforming because of that. So yeah, that's just some ideas here, and I'll explain why that going plain text on this would actually potentially do better here in a second. Next asset here we have what I would assume Allie. This is her face, her picture here, which I think is a great touch. Adding the smile, the personal face, the personal aspect to this. This is another reason is you go from what it feels like a brand that doesn't have people. It's talking about it's like focusing on the brand here, and then you switch over to a personal letter. And it's like just go all in on the personal letter. Like you've already done plain text, you've done some personal emails. This one I think needs to be more of a personal email because it is. It's somebody saying, hey, we're going to ask you to go to a random person's house, your neighbor's house, and ask to sit on their furniture and basically shop it, so that if you want to, you can buy one for yourself. That I think needs a personal touch. It doesn't need a brand touch. It needs a personal touch. So yeah. So anyway, that's one of the reasons why I think removing all the branding at the top and the design focus stuff at the top, just getting rid of it and go plain text, would make sense. There's a few other reasons in here, but we'll get to those in a second. So let me read this copy to you, and we'll break this copy down specifically. Hi, I'm Allie, the community coordinator at Outer. Do you want to see, touch, and feel the outdoor furniture you're considering for your new home in a home that looks like yours? So this is addressing. This is offering. This is offering. This is offering the problem up. Right. The problem is when I'm buying furniture, I have to buy it, assemble it, try it. If I like it, I'll keep it. If I don't, I have to disassemble it, package it back up, and send it back for a refund. That whole process is just an absolute freaking headache. And also too that risk of getting something you don't like and having to send it back may deter people from actually buying because buying and actually loving the product because they're like, I don't want to deal with that. I'll just go to a warehouse nearby and just sit on something. Because like personally, when I shop for furniture, I don't want to just buy it random off the internet. I want to go sit on it. I want to test it. I want to see how big it is. I want to see how I fit on it. I want to see how many other people can fit on it with me. Like there's all these things that kind of float around your head as a consumer. I'd imagine most people shopping furniture, those types of things do float around their mind. And what Outer is doing here through Allie's personal letter is saying, hey, you can do all that in a home that looks like yours. So you have some context of like, hey, what is this going to look like size wise? You don't have to say, hey, we've got to measure this and go back to the house and see if it'll fit. Like you can literally go sit on a couch that's in a living room, the size of your living room and see if it's going to actually fit in the living room, see if you like it, see if you fit on it, see if your family can, like the use of it, see how it's actually being used in context of it being in a home. And so they're addressing that problem. They're bringing that problem out with basically 2 or 3 lines of copy here, which I think is fantastic. The one thing that they don't talk about here is the mechanism of the problem, which you don't necessarily have to have the mechanism of the problem. In some cases, you can test that and say, hey, in a home that looks like yours, then you say, hey, this is why most people dislike shopping for furniture, and we've addressed that. And you can talk about you can agitate the problem with the mechanism of the problem a little bit, but you don't have to. So that's something you could test and add in here to see if it gets more click through. They have some graphics here, which I mean, that's personal choice. I would leave them out entirely and just go all in on the plain text. The next thing here is going to be the solution. So our network of over 1,000 neighborhood showroom hosts. So that's where the showroom comes from the tagline up here. But this concept is new enough or so new that having a showroom in your neighbor's backyard, like it's like, okay, cool, but why? Like, why would that happen? Again, kind of like Uber. Why would I pay a stranger to come get me, pick me up, and take me to the airport? Until you have to go way simpler. You have to go way down the awareness spectrum when it comes to like awareness of their problem and their buying journey, things like that. Is like make it simple, straight to the point. Like go shop furniture in your neighbor's backyard, or go shop for furniture in your neighbor's living room. Like that's going to do a little bit better than I would imagine than the showroom idea. As much as you want to push the showroom idea, you can say that down here and introduce the concept of the showroom host down here, but I would definitely go way simpler with this tagline if we're going to keep it up top. So anyway, back to this. So our network over 1,000 neighborhood showroom hosts is ready and waiting to welcome you into their backyards and answer any questions you might have. So this right here offers a solution of like, hey, this problem we just talked about, here's a solution. You're going to go hang out at a neighbor's house and go check out the furniture that you're shopping for, literally wanting to shop for. It's in their living room, it's in their backyard, it's wherever, and you can go test it out. And they're going to be able to answer any of your questions for you because we've armed them with information to let you know what you need to know to buy this furniture. So yeah, there's a solution. And then they say they go into the mechanism of the solution. So search by home style for inspiration to find a space similar to yours, and get candid reviews from real customers, hosts, shoppers, and the press. And the press love it, and we have a feeling you will too. So here's the mechanism of like search by the home style for your inspiration. So you can search for homes that are similar to yours to get inspiration for the types of furniture you can put in your house. And then on top of that, once you find that combo, you can check into the showroom host, the neighborhood showroom host community, and go literally find the house because that inspiration is real. Like somebody's actually doing that with their home with the furniture. So you can go say, hey, these are the ones I like, and literally go to those places and shop the furniture in the homes. So yeah, I think they could play up this mechanism a little bit more and say, hey, look, this is how easy it is to get past the problem of will it fit in the living room? Do I like the style? Do I like the comfort? Will it fit my family? Etc. All those questions you might have. The mechanism here is super powerful. It's super unique, and so I would potentially move away from like host, shoppers, and the press love it. It's like, okay, yeah, cool. So what? What does that mean for me? I would replace this line with like what it actually means to the customer, and maybe start talking about those objections that they may have here, and say the mechanism of this solution, this mechanism here, actually addresses those objections and makes it super easy for you to buy. So I would dive into that a little bit more. And then last year we have like a soft CTA for questions. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reply to this email, and I or another fabulous member of our team will quickly get back to you. So if you have any questions or concerns or anything like that, reply to the email, and Allie or the team will get back to you. Now, overall, this right here, let's go over again. You have your problem, you have your solution, you have your mechanism, you have a suggested social proof here inside with the mechanism. So you have the reviews, and you have the press, host, shoppers, etc. I would potentially show a review here of somebody, or maybe a collection of 3 people writing a review saying, hey, I did the neighborhood showroom host process, and I absolutely loved it. Here's what I loved about it. And put those reviews in here and say, hey, look, we have a ton of reviews saying it's awesome. Here's some reviews if you have any questions. So that's another thing you could replace here with the host, shoppers, and the press love it. Is like, sure, yeah, the press love it, but that's bragging about the brand, finding a new idea and bragging about the idea instead of the customer selling the idea for you. So there's a little switch, a little tweak there. So you have your mechanism with some social proof in there, or suggested social proof, not proven yet, and then you have a CTA with the sign off. I think overall that right there without this image in the middle could be the email. Allie's face, this plain text here, cut it, like end it here and be done, and like send that and see what that does. I would test that against this email and see how it does. I'd imagine it would do better, but that's what testing's for. So the rest of this email, neighborhood hosts in action, see what it's really like to shop with Outer and our neighborhood showroom hosts across the country. So one of the objections that somebody might have is like, okay, cool, that sounds like a great idea. I want to try this, but my objection is these are strangers, and I don't know how does this actually work. I would potentially bake this neighborhood host in action into this as a link that people can click, or mention, say, hey, by the way, we put a guide. If you're not sure about this, we put a guide together on how this actually functions and how it works, and you can go check it out here. I would eventually put that in the copy here and make its own page, which I'm assuming has its own video and own page and landing page of how the whole thing works. And I would just link to that and let them go click and watch it. And on that landing page, it needs to have hey, start finding inspiration around your community to go shop our furniture. Like that whole process needs to be baked in, which it looks like it is because there's a link to play the video, etc. But you like using design in this email, the more and more I look at it, is getting in the way of actually getting the conversion. Because this right here, yeah, it's a great example. Now they have context of showing what will happen, but the excitement of clicking through and finding that out with a video, like the video is going to explain that. Get them to the video, get them click to the video and watch it. They're going to spend more time watching that video, which means their inherent trust of you is going to grow because they're getting value from you watching that video. So this image feels kind of like a filler. Is like get this out of the way, get them to that video, get them to watch the video, and say, hey, that's the goal of this, is for them to watch the video so they know how to actually use the community. So if that's the case, then yeah, we need to make a CTA. If you have any questions here, please watch this video that explains how our neighborhood community host or our neighborhood showroom host actually functions and actually works. That would be a great way to CTA and get them to click a link and get people over to that. Rest of the email, you have your features of buying, and then you have your social and your footer. So yeah, overall, I really, really like this email. I like the way Outer is approaching this problem, and then they're offering a solution that not a lot, or if any, furniture brands are offering. And I think this is one of the big reasons, and I would push this way more as a brand. This is one of the big reasons why I think they're successful right now, is because they're offering this. You don't have to go to a warehouse. You don't have to go into town. You don't have to go to a store. You can literally go to your neighbor's house and shop for the furniture you want that you found inspiring. Because the inspiration on the site, from what I understand, the inspiration on Outer site is real houses, real furniture that you can go and check out if it's in your area or nearby. So yeah, the two big insights I would take from this is, let's showcase this mechanism way more, and maybe talk a little bit more about it. Maybe address some objections. Maybe talk about the mechanism of the problem, and expand on that, and agitate a little bit more. The other one is, I would test this email as plain text versus the current version. I do think that a picture of Allie plus just plain text and a CTA to go check out the video on how this whole thing works will actually perform better than this email here. Now, I'd imagine that Outer's already testing stuff like this, and if this one's actually performing better, then I may be proven wrong, and that's what tests are for. But I want to see a plain text version of this, because this is coming from Allie. She is explaining how this thing works. She's showing the problem, the solution, the mechanism. She's asking you to go check this thing out and say, hey, this is one of the big reasons why people don't buy furniture online, and we're addressing that in a unique, fun, safe way that you can actually shop for the things that you want. So yeah, those are the two big insights. With that being said, thanks for watching. I've got over 90 videos so far at the time of this recording, so go check those out. I pull out insights from brand emails like this, so you can take those back to your e-commerce brand and make more sales with email. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you around.